Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Brady and I'm with Random Woodworkers. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on table saws. I'm going to go ahead and pick on mine, so let's get going. Alright, the first thing is to make sure that it is unplugged. That is real important before you even mess with any power tool. Make sure it's unplugged. Okay, if you look here, this is a release that actually releases the blade, tilt back and forth. Okay, some of them have a little gear on the side you can turn just like this and it automatically does this. This one is free. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to loosen this up and I'm going to hold this with my hand, and I'll show you how from that point what we do to tune the blade to a 90 degree. Okay, with my right hand, see I'm holding it to the stop. Here's your stop right here. It's an Allen wrench stop. Okay, hold it. I hold it tight, and I'm running this up in the middle of the blade, keeping flat down here, and make sure you don't run into the teeth. Stay away from the teeth. Do not hit them. Okay, and I run it and I butt it. Now see the little bit of light in here? It's off. So what you want to do is turn your Allen wrench slowly until you get that light totally gone. I'm holding pressure on the wheel down here. Okay, so I'm just slowly turning. Alright, notice? Now I'll go ahead and rock it and I'll come back up again. Now I'm going to check it. What do you think? Looks pretty good. Alright, the second step is to get a 90 on the crosscut fence. Okay, it turns like so. You loosen this and it turns. Okay, I don't go by this gauge. Crosscut means here's the grain of the wood running like this. So when you're feeding it through, you're cross-cutting the grain. Okay, so this is a cross-cut fence. All right, I'm going to put it about here. Run this up and hold this here. I'm going to run it over. Don't hit the teeth now. Stay away from the teeth. And you're going to adjust this until you can actually get no daylight on either side. You want this flat and hold it until you look at it, and then you tighten this down. Okay, now run back it again and try one more time. Is there any gap in there? Yeah, a little bit. See how it moves? Okay, so I'm off. So let's try it again. Just a little more here. Okay, you want to just hold this, always hold pressure there. Alright, there, and I'm not hitting no teeth. Make sure you don't hit any teeth, that'll throw it all off. So let's see. Alright, I'm pushing here and I got no gap along the whole thing. Okay, this is a ripping fence here. Its purpose is to whatever width you want. You're sending the wood through, cutting with the grain. So that's called a rip fence. Alright, now when you're using rip fence, always push right here before you lock it down, because if it's a little crooked, when you lock it, it's going to stay crooked. So always push a little bit and then lock it down. Okay, now adjusting the 90 degree on the blade itself. We'll go here and show you on this. What you want to do is I take this, I'm going to butt it up against the rip fence, and I'm not going to touch the teeth again. I'm going to go up and hold it and then just slide it till it just touches. See if you make a noise? Yeah. Okay, then I'm locking the fence down. Now does it make a noise still? A little bit. I'm not touching the teeth now. Now I'm going to go over here. Alright, does it make noise? No. So the fence is off a little. So they got set screws that you've got to loosen and adjust. Let me show you those set screws. Okay, I loosened these screws here. These are your screws to have the fence go back and forth. Okay, it's released. So what I'm going to do is put this against the fence and run it up. What I'm going to do is hold it down and clip this down. Now I'm going to check and see what I come up with. It hits a little bit. Okay, it doesn't hit at all. So I'm going to release. I'm going to push this over just a little bit. This takes patience. This is the only one that takes a lot of patience to do. Okay, I'm going to lock it down. Okay, too tight. Too tight. So let's just slide it over a little bit until it drops. Okay, I'm going to tighten it down. Let's see how we're doing here now. Doesn't hit. Doesn't hit. So it might just be on the money. So let's see how we... I'm just going to barely put a little bit of torque on these, because I think that's pretty good, but we'll check it. Okay, now it won't move as easy. So now I'm going to just slide over till it touches. There it is. Okay, remember, push forward on this and then lock it down. Okay, I'm holding this against here. Okay. Sounds about the same, don't it? Alright, from that point, release it gently. Okay, and then you want to tighten these down. Okay, don't over tighten them, snug them up. Okay, then use this, and just a little bit of a snug here, and a snug here. Okay, now let's check it again. Over here, I'm going to just run it up, just touches. Push forward, always push forward on the fence, then lock it down. Let's see. Remember, I got this unplugged. Make sure it's unplugged. Now, what do you think? They have other tools that'll, okay. All right, this rip fence is squared up. So now, once you send this through the joiner, you put the jointed side against the fence. The other thing is to make sure you adjust your blade height to the wood. You want to go about that much, about halfway over, maybe a 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch higher than the wood you're cutting. All right, loosen it, slide it over to wherever you want to cut. Say I want to cut this. Push forward on the fence again, so it straightens this out. Then lock it down. All right, make sure you wear your safety glasses and dust protection and earplugs. Turn it on. You're going to feed the wood through. Okay. Now the other thing I noticed is right here when I was feeding the wood through, it was catching right here. So I took a metal file. I took this off, took a metal file, and I rounded this down a little bit. You can probably see it the way it is. I rounded down. Now the wood goes through. It doesn't catch. So you want to check all that as you're tuning up your table saw. I zoomed up a little on this. I wanted you guys to see how I had filed this down a little bit here. Like I said, when I was pushing through it, stopped. We don't want that. You want this clear, go smoothly through it. Always keeping pressure against this fence. Don't keep your fingers away from that blade, but keep pressure against this fence as you're going through. Okay, I wanted to go over the blade. If you look, all table saws and chop saws, you know, come with a combination blade, which that's what this is, meaning the teeth are far apart. And this is fine for what I'm doing, a combination blade. Combination means you can rip with it or you can cross cut with it. Now I don't have a fence on this. They all come with a fence you put on, and it has a splitter back here, which as you're feeding it in to rip it, the splitter goes in between the wood and keeps from closing up on the blade. I've never had an issue, because if you get this surface smooth, get this fence accurate with the blade, which we did, binding, I've never had a problem with it. And I added this piece of wood for the purpose of getting real close to the blade, so if I got a small item I'm putting in here, I can cut it off. You'll say it's so short. This was great for that. This is a small table saw, and I didn't need a big one because I'm not going to work over maybe 2 feet of wood at one time because of my arthritis and bad back, so I'm going to stay with small projects. This is not going to work very well with ripping plywood. The fence is not wide enough either direction. The tabletop is not wide, and it's not heavy enough, and so it can cause problems trying to feed a 4x8 sheet of plywood through it. That'll end this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this. Give me your feedback on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Thank you. Have a very good day.